Your sign now. There's nobody coming out of that bunch on the attack. They're going home to Colmar altogether. Same standings tonight for sure. Heinrich Hausler has just passed under 15 kilometres to go. His gap on the peloton just towards the end has been shut down that little bit because they've climbed it better. He was blowing towards the top. They're now at 6 minutes and 36 seconds. And we'll go looking at Feylieu at 5 minutes 8. So Feylieu now is only just over a minute and a half, just on a minute and a half, ahead of the peloton. They might yet bring him back to heel.
Well, Pelazzotti here looking for points as they come up to the top of the climb. I can't see Igor Martinez. There he is, just trying to survive. Pelazzotti here, Phil, is a man possessed with trying to get the lead in the King of the Mountains. He gets maximum points there from the main field. 5th for him, but they're double points as well. Franco Pelazzotti has in fact taken over the lead in the King of the Mountains classification. That was his goal at the start of the day. He now has a 3-point advantage over Igor Martinez, but I think that competition will go down to the wire.
Yes, it's not over yet, but he deserves the lead because he's worked very hard to get it, and it's usually been shoulder to shoulder with Igor Martinez. So good result there for Franco Pelazzotti. So as we watch now, Henrik Hausler go for gold. He's 14 kilometres from the line. The peloton are a long way behind at over 6 minutes. And there it is, high in the sky, just 5 kilometres to go for Heinrich Hausler. The gap has shot up on the peloton from about 6.5 to 7 minutes 8 seconds. He's still pulling away. They've shut down for the day. This man is set to enjoy his finest day as a cyclist.
Well, theoretically, when he gets to the finishing line, Phil, the main field should just be coming up to that 5-kilometre banner because at the speed that he is riding, he should cover 5 kilometres in about 7 minutes. He still keeps putting his head down there, keeping the pressure on. He's riding at about 45 kilometres now. A little casual check there at the time check, and he's going to say, thank you very much. I'll take that.
Reading all that when you're under pressure takes a bit of time, but he's studied it. He's seen the time gaps. He knows now. Nobody's crossing the big void to his back wheel today. This rain has created an ocean between him and the rest of the race. Terrific show of strength and a great tactic today by Cervelo, making sure a man got in that breakaway and gambled that if it didn't work on the big climb by the heads, they would all then decide to turn off and wait for the Alps, and it's worked.
Well, the race computer is telling me, Phil, that this man here is at 4 minutes and 12 seconds. And in fact, about 15 to 20 seconds behind him is Sylvain Chavanel. So Chavanel may well be recovering on the flatter part of the course, even though he is losing big time to Heinrich Hausler.
That would be equally amazing. Maybe our cameras will seek him out. We've got 3 cameras here, and we can't use them over 4 riders. Simple as that.
Well, there is the yellow jersey, all of the raincoats off now, sitting behind 3 of his teammates who've been mustered up to the front end of the main field to do the pacemaking. It was a very precarious day for him this afternoon. He must have wondered when the big teams like Saxo Bank and Astana came to the front end of the main field, was it going to be the big attack on the first hors d'oeuvre of the mountains? But it wasn't a serious attack by anybody. I think it was just a test to see whether or not Rinaldo Nocentini could resist.
So this will be the first German victory of the Tour de France today, and Hausler gets there. Although, as I say, he's been brought up in the town of Inverness in New South Wales, so the Aussies might claim a little bit of the victory as well. The rain still comes down, and Heinrich Hausler cuts his trail through it here. He's just past 3 kilometres to go, and the gap continues to ascend. 7 minutes 16. As I speak, it's dropped back 1 second. But that's enough. He's got it now.
Well, time is not really important for a guy like Heinrich Hausler, Phil, because he started the day 55 minutes behind Rinaldo Nocentini in the overall classification. All he's concerned about is getting his wheel across the line in first place. But he can't wait for this race to finish now. He's got himself stripped down. The weather is, strangely enough, just starting to smile on him now. We've left most of the bad weather completely behind us as we now start to get into the outskirts of Colmar. Around that corner, he won't take any risks now. He knows he's got 4 minutes to play with over Ahmed Chiruka, the second-place rider on the road. About 4.5 minutes over Sylvain Chavanel. 7.25 minutes over the main field. Here is Sylvain Chavanel, and he's about to get picked up here by Bryce Felu, and he's just going to sit up and wait for the rider from France to catch up with him and hope that he can pilot him to the finish, because Sylvain Chavanel has gone through all kinds of problems this afternoon, probably due to the fact that he didn't keep himself topped up with energy and eat enough on a very cold day through the mountains. 2 kilometers to go now to go for upside down world of Heinrich Hausler. This is a bit of excitement at the back end of the main field, and in fact this is David Miller, and it looks to me as if he's pacing back Bradley Wiggins, who may well have had a problem.
So it's a big peloton, Paul. Mark Cavendish, the sprinter, isn't here. He'll come in what we call the auto bus. I reckon he's probably about 10 or 15 minutes back, but he'll be okay. Oh, look at the face here. This guy is seeing 15 men in front of him right now.
Well, just looking, he hasn't, I think he's not even been able to follow the wheel of Bryce Felu. He's completely and utterly blown. This can happen, Phil.
I think the point you made was right. He hasn't eaten.
No, and it can easily happen when you're in a breakaway situation in the mountains, and it's much more difficult to remember to eat, because you're thinking about putting pressure on, you're thinking about pedaling, you're thinking about staying off the front end of the main field. It is a serious professional error that sometimes even the best of professional bike riders can make, and I think this afternoon that is what Sylvain Chavanel has done. He may well not even survive to the finish. He could even get picked up, Phil, by the main peloton.
He could, because once you hit the wall, the body sugars are gone and you can't see anything. Steady as you go now. There's no need to take risks, Heinrich, and he hasn't, as he swings in looking for the 1 kilometer to go. Banner now. Third Tour de France, first stage victory. It's going to come on the east of France, as close as he could be to Germany, in fact, because tomorrow we go down much closer to Italy. As he lines up, there's a massive crowd here in Colmar. He's under that 1 kilometer to go, and now he's just going to enjoy the noise of the crowd in his ears here. It's been a wonderful attack, and he's got rid of everybody. I thought he'd made a mistake getting rid of Sylvain Chavanel on the way down, but he knew how he felt, and he must have known how Chavanel felt.
Yes, well, he obviously got the feeling that Chavanel was not going well on the first category climb, because theoretically Chavanel should have been the much stronger rider on the uphill parts of the course. He saw that and he took advantage of it on the descent, and he flew down that descent to build up his lead over the Frenchman. And although the Frenchman held it at 15 seconds for a while, all of a sudden the lights went out. It's a long finishing straight here, Phil. It's almost 1 kilometer straight up to the finish line in Colmar. All he has to do now is just raise his hands in glory and enjoyment. What a great ride.
He was born in Inverell, a small town inland in New South Wales, inland from Sydney. That's where he learned to speak fluent English. He now lives in Germany because he was born to German parents. We know that this town, Inverell, will be cheering madly for him tonight. For their time, it's in the middle of the night. It doesn't matter to this man because he's enjoying every moment of it. Heinrich Hausler, 25 years of age, comes home to his first win at the third Tour de France he's attempted, and he's done it so well through the mountains of the Vosges and the Alsace, and he's overcome here with emotion.
Yeah, good ride, man. I tell you, that really is very special, Phil.
Terrific as he hits the line. I'm not surprised. A very popular guy. He's had a great season. That, by the way, is his 5th win of his season and the 14th win of his career.
Congratulations, Heinrich Hausler. Such an emotional moment for you. Is it your biggest day as cycling pro?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, today was perfect. I only live like 30 kilometers from here. You could pretty much say it's my training area. And also this weather, I love the rain and the cold. And yeah, at the beginning it was difficult because there was a lot of good riders in the group. And the peloton behind, they were chasing the whole time. They didn't let us go. So I just tried to split it up a bit because there was too many good hill climbers there. And I knew as the day would go on that I'd get stronger and the others would get weaker, because I love this type of weather, and that's really good for me.
Well, here's the arrival now of Felu. At one stage he was tracing yellow, then we concentrated on the white, and now he's just going to have to contend with third place behind Hausler and Teruka. But that is a great ride. You know, one day I really believe this guy can win the Tour de France for France, but right now he's going to have to be content with third. He's driven away from the mountain. He's still being chased by Sylvain Chavanel, but I'll tell you what, Radio Tour is saying that in fact Thor Hushovd has rejoined that chase group. Now if he's got any legs left and can clean up in the sprint, He could be in the green jersey of Mark Cavendish tonight. We'll know very soon, but for the moment, enjoy this sight. This is the Frenchman coming home. His brother went home yesterday because he couldn't use an asthma spray. Well, there's the reply. He got third. And this man, take a look at his face. I just don't know how Sylvain Chavanel has survived the peloton behind, because if the camera lifted up, you're going to see them in full cry. Chavanel has hung on to a well-deserved fourth place today. Now pulled back because the peloton are coming. Hushovd is in this group, so too is everybody that matters. Hushovd is on the right, challenged by Peter Velits. Velits, Hushovd come to the line, but the most important thing is, I think Hushovd is beaten by Velits, but that will be good enough now to take the green jersey away from the shoulders of Mark Cavendish.
Well, sixth place on the stage was enough for Thor Hushovd to take the jersey, but he was still pretty annoyed with Peter Velits of Milram, who was racing for fun apparently and deprived him of fifth and an extra point. There's the stage result, a solo win for the second day, this one by Heinrich Hausler, more than 4 minutes ahead of Amets Chiruka in second place, and over 6 minutes ahead of Brice Fayou and Sylvain Chavanel. Bradley Wiggins is taking no chances with the commissaires these days. He was well up at the front after his puncture in 8th. The yellow jersey and all the favourites finished in the same bunch. David Miller slowed up 11 seconds after pacing Bradley safely back to the field.
Brad, cold and miserable today.
Yeah.
And you had a bit of a puncture there at the end. Is that what it was?
Yeah, front wheel puncture, so wasn't too much of a panic. Miller waited with me and we got back in, so it was fine.
Very well done, and no fault of yours that Levi's had a bit of bad luck and you've gone up another place in GC.
Exactly, I mean, obviously, bad way to go out for Levi, but the race goes on, doesn't it?
Now, the planned second day of the radio ban didn't go ahead today, but clearly word hadn't got back from the team car to Mark Cavendish about Thor Hushovd's sixth place. As he rolled in with a group nearly 24 minutes down, he was already unclipping his foot from the pedal, expecting to be ushered onto the podium. Once he discovered he was surplus to requirements, he was in no mood for post-race analysis.
Yeah. Mark, it looks like that jersey's changed hands again. It's turning into a cracking competition.
Happy to talk, as we've already heard, was Heinrich Hausler, taking the Tour's first Germano-Australian stage win. No change at the top, though. The leaderboard exactly as it was this morning, which of course is not the same as it was last night. Levi Leipheimer's departure meaning everybody from 5th